Okay, we are going to cover three operators today: the AND, OR, and the NOT operator. Okay, we'll start with the AND operator. Alright, and this is a small little table that I use. Okay, so AND has for your boolean, you actually have true false and another true false. And since AND is a binary operator, so you have something and something. Do notice that when you have true and true, the result is actually true. But the rest, okay, look at the rest. Right, true and false is false, false and false is also false. So actually you only have one true value, which is true and true. Another way to help you remember this is actually to remember it by mathematical operator. Okay, and the AND operator is actually equivalent to multiply. Alright, so AND is actually multiply. Then what happened to the true and false? Well, true is 1, false is 0. Right, so true is 1, false is 0. So the only way you can get a 1 is 1 multiply 1 over here. Right, whenever you have 1 multiply 0 or 0 multiply 0, you get 0. So you get false. Okay, so whichever method you prefer. Alright, so some students prefer the previous table, the normal AND operators, or some students prefer to see it as multiply. Alright, but as long as you get the answer correct, that's all we need. Okay, let's move on to the OR operator. Well, the OR operator, the only time you will have a false is when you have a false or false. So you get a false. Right. The rest, you will get a true. Right. So true or true is true. True or false is also true. Alright. So I only need to remember this little column, this little cell over here, which is false. But again, if you are more mathematical, well, the OR operator is actually a plus or addition, whichever terms you want to use it. Okay, so OR is a plus. Again, you have true and false as 1 and 0. Then what happened? Well, if you have 1 plus 0, you will have 1. If you have 0 plus 0, you will also, you will get 0. Right, so you have a 0 here, then 1 in here. And the only weird case is, of course, if you have a 1 and 1, of course you don't put a 2 over here, alright, but you will refer it as true. That is all. Okay, again, doesn't matter whichever table you use, right? Just remember the false is over here. Right? So when you have false or false, you get a false. Well, the NOT operator, however, is the opposite. So when you have not true, well, it's actually false, and you have not false, it's actually true. Well, another way to see it basically means you either reverse it or you inverse it. Okay, so I have this word inverse over here. So this basically covers the three operators. But what type of question I may be required to work with? So over here, there is a small little list of questions, just 3 questions. Alright, if you would like to try them out, well, I will suggest you pause the video, okay, because in a later while, I will go through the step as well as the answer to this exercise. Okay, let's look at how to work on this. Well, of course, bracket do first. So over here, I have false or true. So this will evaluate to a true. And you have a true and true. So the final answer is actually a true. Right. Okay. Then of course you have over here bracket false and true. Well, this will be a false. And when you have true and false, you ended up with a false. Okay. All right. Then this one, when you have not true, it's a false. Again, you will have the same, not true, it's a false. And false or false, the final answer is false. Alright. So it can be a little bit confusing in the beginning. Alright. Because this is probably the first time you work with Boolean operator. Okay, but you do need it a lot in programming, right, as well as your pseudocode for building up of condition. Right. So, well, all the best. Okay, don't give up. All right, it takes a while to understand, but you can do it, I'm sure.